Why don't we steal away into the night?
I wish I could say that this was one of the best comedies I've seen in a while, but that would sell the movie short. Not only is it a very effective comedy, but it's also a touching love story between the two most unlikely of men. First off, the casting itself makes one start to chuckle. If you had to pick two big-name actors who were going to play a pair of lovers in a dark comedy, I doubt many people would have picked Jim Carrey or Ewan MacGregor. But oh god, what a film these two have starred in. You know the movie's going to be outlandish when it starts with the text, "This really happened." Really, it did. So we start the film with a regular family man named Stephen Russell. He's quirky in his accent and his whole behavior, but he's an honest guy. He starts out working as a cop, but we find out the only reason he chose that career was so he could find the whereabouts of his biological mother. He finds her early on in the movie, and it leads to the first example of a sad, dark moment leading us to laugh at the comedic aspects of it, something that this movie does very well. After this, we quickly learn that he turns to the life of a con man, and finally opens up on his being a homosexual. He leaves his wife and daughter, and adopts every aspect of a homosexual that the average person can imagine. Now this change in lifestyle is expensive, and this is where his con artistry plays up. Of course, he gets caught, breaking up with his current boyfriend, and falling out with his religious ex-wife. But it turns out that going to prison was the best thing in the world for him because he meets Phillip Morris, a very naive, innocent-looking man who's just begging to find someone to take care of him. If I told you that the man who played a vicious heroin addict in Trainspotting, as well as the young Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Star Wars movies, would end up playing this soft-spoken Southerner, the mental comparison of all those roles would no doubt leave you doubly impressed with Ewan MacGregor's acting ability. This is a very enticing story about these two men, and I gotta say, their chemistry together outdoes any of the usual romance movies we usually get. We totally buy their characters and their devotion to each other. The comedic situations that arise between them left me and my friends in stitches. Actually, it kinda reminds me of the gay couple in Modern Families. Just like Stephen Russell's dealings with the other characters in the film, the movie twists and turns, giving us slanted views of what's happening, only to throw the truth right in our face. Often it's done for humor, and it usually works, and sometimes it's for dramatic effect, which we also buy. Just like The History Boys and In Bruges, we get a story that balances comedy and drama very successfully. What I also found interesting is how many references there are to other Jim Carrey movies. Seriously, I noticed 5 during the film. We get a joke about God being a kid with a magnifying glass, just like in Bruce Almighty. We get an enthusiastic blowjob scene that seems just a bit toned down from the Ace Ventura scene. Stephen Russell is a master of costumes, just like in A Series of Unfortunate Events. He was purged at birth, just like in The Truman Show, and he has a prison chat impersonating a lawyer, just like in The Cable Guy. And for movie reference number 6, think of the first 20 minutes of Liar Liar. The point is, it features one of Jim Carrey's best performances in a while, and the little references almost feel like a weird tribute to Carrey's career. Now, I'm sure one could argue that I'm nitpicking, but the coincidences aroused my curiosity at least. I don't know how much of the movie was factual, but considering a lot of the story is so ridiculous that it couldn't possibly be real, I'm actually inclined to think that the stuff did happen for the most part. I mean, the whole point is that we can't believe it's a true story. So, either we just got duped the whole time, or this features one of the strangest love stories in human history. A story of a crook who got lost in his own deceptions and devotion to Phillip Morris, and ended up paying a big price for his deeds. Is this movie worth watching? Hell yes.
Your only skin, so keep on pushing.